Hello, and welcome back to another episode of Diaries, Homosexual. I'm your host, Christian Segerson, and this week, a lot has happened, okay? Spencer Thomas, also known as S. Squiddy, and previously Uh-Oh Gay, is spilling the tea this week about college, NYU, and roommates, dorms, everything, because I wanted to know, and I'm sure you wanted to know. His roommate experiences horrified me, and they will probably horrify you, but his college advice I will be taking with me and clinging on to all of next year. I really, really hope that you love this week's episode. Hello, Spencer. Welcome. I'm so excited to have you on the podcast.
Thank you so much for having me. I really appreciate it.
Let's get right into it. I have followed you for quite a while. Came up originally in the pandemic, and I was obsessed. I thought you were so funny, and at the time I was in the closet, and I found that a lot of your content was very relatable because you were one of the only gay people on TikTok, at least that was my age, that I found, which was super cool. But how did you start TikTok? When did you start it? Why did you start it? How did it take off?
Oh, that's a question I've gotten before. And I look back and the answer is different than what it used to be. I'm 19 now. I just finished my freshman year of college. Thank you for watching my videos back then. RIP Gay is my username. I no longer go by that. But I got started when I was 17. I was outed at a Catholic school, so that wasn't great. And I kind of just didn't really have anyone to talk to.
Yeah.
And when you're 17 and freshly out of the closet against your own desire or will, I think that all I wanted was a place just to vent and find people. So that's kind of how I got started. But if you asked me that question 2 years ago, I probably would have just said, because I wanted a place to talk. But now it's more so because it was an outlet for me, and I needed a place to find a sense of purpose, and find people I could connect with. And that's how I got started. And then it didn't really pick up until summer of 2020.
Was there a specific video that went viral?
Yeah, I can tell you the one that kind of changed the game for me a little bit.
Yeah.
I look back and I cringe just a little bit, but I saw a quote that said, if you're a little cringy, that is okay. So it was a video that I made saying how America sucks. And
Okay.
in order to be happy, we must all leave and venture to a made-up land that I called Gaylandia. And everyone in Gaylandia will live on the beach and be happy and, I don't know, like drink, and it'll be great. And looking back, it kind of sounds like a cult. That video kind of like created a niche sort of community. And then from there, that community kind of just kept growing. So that was the video that changed it for me, for sure.
That's amazing. And you didn't expect at all that would blow up, right?
Well, it didn't even this thing is, it didn't even blow up. I don't even know. I mean, it wasn't like a million views or anything.
Mm-hmm.
It had like 100 or thousands, right? Which to me at the time, and still, whenever anyone gets 100,000 views, I'm always like, they're famous.
Yeah.
That's a lot of views. You have people that are on TikTok that just all they talk about is views, blah, blah, blah. But to me, that's a ton of views. That's crazy.
Yeah.
So I got like 100,000 views and I was freaking out. I thought it was the coolest thing ever. But the thing about it was that it had so many comments and so many people relating and talking about how they wanted to go to this made up land that I created called Gaylandia. And that video was what kind of started it all for me, I'd say.
So you went TikTok stardom, honestly. You're at NYU now, right?
I'm at NYU. I just finished my freshman year.
How did you decide on that?
Well, that's a great question. And to be honest, it took me a while to figure out where I wanted to go to school. I knew I wanted to be in New York. That was a given.
Yeah.
I knew I was going to be in New York. I knew I wanted to be in a place completely different from where I grew up. And I toured NYU, and I just it felt right being in New York, and I just wanted to be here. And then it worked out really, really well. And now I'm here over the summer as an RA because free housing. That's how I'm here.
So where did you grow up and like what was it about New York that you were just like, oh, I have to go?
That's a good question because I didn't grow up very far from New York City.
Okay.
I grew up in a small town called Reading, Connecticut, about an hour and a half out from New York. When I was growing up, I grew up in like middle of nowhere. We're talking trees, woods. I lived on like a nature type thing, like in
Yeah.
the forest. Like it was like designated forest for like you could just couldn't touch it. And I grew up just kind of always wanting to be in a place where I could just be anything and do anything. And I didn't want to be stuck in like this just a really small town where there wasn't really much going on. The experience is defined by a lot of Dunkin' Donuts, sitting in parking lots, wallowing about your life, and just shit talking, just a lot of gossip. It's just not. It was just like a really like not an exciting. It's not exciting, and I wanted excitement, and I wanted fun, and I wanted to be in a place where I could do whatever I wanted and be whoever I wanted to be. And I'd come out to New York with my family, and just like that difference, it just made me want to come here and just
Yeah.
make something of myself.
And now that you're in New York, do you still feel like that's true? Like, is it still a land of possibility?
I have mixed feelings on this. I'd say yes. I'd say
Okay.
you can be whoever you want to be in New York. Truly. I would just say that I was naive in the fact that I thought it would not come at a cost. And that cost is being in a big city can be very, very lonely if you do not have the right people. I feel very grateful that I have good friends in my life and that I have people, but man, there's been some tough moments, but I really, really love being here, which is
So
why
was it hard to make friends?
what I did, and any college kid out there, especially my gays, this one's for you.
Mhm.
Just fuck it. Like, because like college week, first week is gonna be really awkward and really weird. Just I tried to meet as many people as possible and just try to, meet, mingle, and just try to find people, but not like jump into a friend group because I don't think that you have to box yourself in when you get to school. In high school, it's a little different, and it's a lot more intimate than high school because you are living with these people in the same buildings and you see them every day from morning to night, after hours, night, like you see them 24/7. I got really lucky in the sense that my best friends I met kind of before I came to school. It
Okay.
just happened to work out this way. And we didn't know each other at all growing up. And then we met each other on like a forum group chat going into NYU. And we met up and we were kind of friends. We were kind of navigating. We weren't really sure if we'd be best friends. And then we both get to school and we find out that we are one floor from each other as well in the same building.
Oh my
We were like
gosh.
basically neighbors. I considered myself her glorified roommate because I was there 24/7 and we became really, really tight. So my best friend and I, we met because of a group chat, and it happened that we lived 10 minutes from each other at home and are like 2 minutes from each other at the dorms or at our dorms for the past year because I moved dorms.
Do you find that sometimes when you're in friend groups, you can almost become complacent and not want to branch out and meet new people?
Yeah. Yeah, that's obviously one of my biggest issues with friend groups in general. I didn't want to be in a friend group. Like when
Yeah.
I first joined my friend group with my friends, I was kind of like, I don't want this. I don't want to be in a friend group. I want to just be friends with everyone. The friend group thing worked out well because it's not like you're stuck in this group. And I feel that if people are going to be restrictive and say, this is our friend group, you kind of stick to it, then that's a red flag. A
Yeah.
friend group should be able to merge and just kind of flow and just exist. You shouldn't have to keep it forced together. So I would say yes, friend groups can be really challenging. But if it's a healthy friend group, then they don't care how many friends you have and how many other people you talk to. They're just happy that you're in the room with them and that you're their friend and you hang out
Yeah.
with them when they can't hang out with you.
It's awesome when you find like genuine friends because so many people honestly are social climbers. And I have had it where like people will jump ship so quick when someone like better comes along, or they have like a opportunity to be with people that are like cooler or something fun.
Ooh, you're gonna get me. I'm gonna rant. You
Yeah,
gotta,
go on a tangent. Do
you gotta
it.
hold me back. You gotta hold me back. 'Cause I'm telling you, the social climbers, and they're social climbers because they're unable to have an actual conversation with you.
Yeah.
It's so performative. Here's how I tell who is a social climber and who isn't. If someone's your best friend, truly, then you're not gonna have like any pictures with them. You're not gonna have shit with them. Like my closest
Facts.
friends, yes, we have a lot of pictures with each other, but we live with each other. You know what I mean? Like we see each other every day, 24/7. So we're kind of just piled up. But like a lot of my best friends, I don't have any pictures with because I just enjoy their company. I enjoy being with them, and I just love hanging out. If someone is a social climber, my my theory, my working theory is that they will constantly take pictures and videos with you, post about it, share it up, because it's kind of just like that networking thing of like, I'll promote you on my page or whatever. It's also like a
Yeah.
social media influencer thing. I'll promote you on my page. Like, let's take pictures together, post about it. Cool. You do the same. We show people online or blah, 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 that we're a coalition, we're together, and then you rise up.
Mm-hmm.
That to me is what it can look like. And not always. I don't know. Like there's a lot of people that I know that just kind of, they can't stand each other, but they just post pictures with each other and, just document it as if they're best friends ever. The best friends in the whole world,
Yeah.
as it's kind of about an image rather than the actual friendship.
Right. And like you're in New York. Do you find that like because you do have like a fairly substantial following, have you met other, influencers and, kind of been friends with them and then been like, "Oh, we should not be friends. I do not want to be friends with you."
There are a few influencers in the city who are the loveliest, most kind, humble people. And they know who they are. I know who they are. And typically the bigger ones, if they're really famous and they have a pretty big platform, then they're usually relatively nice and they're very humble and they're cool. Like I've met so many really great people in the city, and I'm surprised that they're not terrible human beings because, I just assumed that because there's big influencers, they'd be the worst. But it's like the mid-tier influencers. You're talking like the people all below 1 million followers, but above like a certain number, so they have enough clout where they can call themselves an influencer.
Yeah.
Those people aren't big enough to like have a lot of clout where they don't have to like, speak up about how they have clout. And they're not nice and they're really judgmental and they're just not cool people. Like who they are. Like if you are around enough in New York, who like the people are
Yeah.
there. Like stay away.
It's a big city, but do you feel like it is almost like a small town in a way? Like everyone kind of knows everyone in some way.
Yeah, it is. I see the same people all the time in the most random spots. Like an example, this has happened like so many times, but there's this one kid who I saw everywhere. And I mean everywhere. I'd be by the Hudson, not even near NYU, not even near anything, just minding my own business. And he was fucking there. And then I'd be at a restaurant. That kid was there. Like you see people that you see everywhere
Yeah.
that are those random people. And then I became friends with the kid, but like even because eventually I was just like, who the fuck are you?
It's meant to be.
Meant to be. No, it happened a few times. And sometimes I call it fate. And sometimes I just say that I'm being melodramatic. Same thing goes with your friends and people that just like you're familiar with. They're kind of just everywhere and anywhere. And everyone knows everyone too. So you say, oh, I know this person. And someone else will be like, oh, I know that person who knows that person who knows you. It's a really crazy web. And I thought that, it would be a small fish, big pond type thing, which it is. But every damn fish in the city knows each other, which is
Yeah.
especially the gay fish. All the gays in the city, they talk. And when I say they talk to each other and everybody knows everyone. It's really awkward when you're friends with someone and then they're friends with someone that you don't like, right? But you don't know it. and then
Yeah.
walk into a place or like a library. That's not where this happened.
Okay.
Hanging out, and you're like, what the fuck? You're like, what crossover is this?
Yeah.
You're on sphere A, they're on sphere B, and you're like, now they're to. That's happened a lot. I'm like, I'm always taken back by that. So you never know who people know. That's what I'd say.
Hmm.
So
Yeah. You
yeah,
just go into like a library and then they see this person that you don't like and they go in for a hug with this person and you're like, what are you doing? We do not like this person.
I
But you
think you
can't say
actually
that.
like, you're reading my mind, because it wasn't something like that happened. I can't tell you like these
Yeah.
specifics. I don't remember, but that is not out of the ordinary. That has happened. I know it's happened to my friends, and I know a lot of us are always like, what? You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So
You talked about moving dorms on your
mm,
TikTok. I did some deep social media stalking for this. Okay. Why
you
did you
gotta.
move rooms? What's the story behind that? Because there were multiple videos.
Oh, and did you notice how I didn't mention once about what exactly happened?
Yes, we got to
I'm
get
gonna
the
tell you.
inside scoop.
I'm gonna tell you. This is the inside scoop because
Okay.
people will ask me. Alrighty, so I know when you reached out and approached me about talking with you today, you wanted to talk about college,
Mm,
roommates, the whole shebang. And I would say that college has been an amazing year. I've loved my friends, I've loved my classes. I have loved the experience. The one thing, because there's one thing that has not been
always.
so pretty, has been my dorming experience. I live alone now because I'm an RA, which
Mhm.
is great. I lived alone for my last month of college from beginning of April to mid-May before I moved in here because I was at a point of where I could no longer live in my dorm situation. I got put with three other very, very just domineering, like frat business type finance bros. That's what I got put with as my living situation.
In one room.
The way my dorm was set up was that you'd walk in, there was a living room, a
Okay.
kitchen, a bathroom, and a two-bedroom setup. So the way you'd walk into my bedroom is like you'd kind of like you living room, kitchen, bathroom, and then like bedroom one, and then bedroom two. It wasn't very
Right.
big, and we were on the second floor on a very, very loud street. So I'd have other friends who would like send me pictures, and they'd have these dorms that are like beautiful, beautiful, and they'd be like have a great view. No, I was looking at the supermarket. You could hear everything, and when I mean that you could hear everything out of these windows, I could hear conversations on the street. I could hear people's phones ringing. I could hear their music playing. I could hear every single little thing out my window because it
That would
was
get so annoying.
yeah, it was definitely not the dream. Um, but in like naive, like 18-year-old me fashion, I kind of romanticized the shit out of it. And I was like, this is this is so cringy. I was like, this is so New York of me. I live in such a cute little dorm. Look at how cute this is. Look, I can see people. Oh
Fair.
my god, that
I
person
would
just
do the exact same thing. So I can't
someone just
even.
someone passed out on the pavement once, like they were drunk. Oh my god, look, someone like I romanticized every little thing, which is so fucking stupid and embarrassing.
Yeah.
Also, kind of like it's just cringy, but I did it because I was just so excited to be in New York and be in a new space and just like city dream.
Yeah.
But when I first met my roommate, it was fine. It was like nothing was really inherently seeming to be wrong from the get-go. And I really wanted to be tight with my suite mates and my roommate. I really wanted to be close with them. I knew that the main red flag started was beginning of September. So we're like 2 weeks into school. Two. I walk into my dorm with my friends to show them around and hang out in my dorm. I walk in and I open the door, which was unlocked, and I didn't even know anyone was there. And I walk in, and my roommate is hooking up with he's hooking up with a girl, and I was like, "Oop!" I was like, "Okay," and then and
So
then
awkward.
it was awkward. Um, and then I made a TikTok about it, and that got me in some, oops, that got me in some trouble.
He probably didn't like that.
No, the girl saw it and she screenshotted it and texted it to him. She's actually really cool, and I really thought she was the coolest girl, and I liked her. I didn't want to, but oh, God, I had a TikTok was like, you should find it and put it in this. It was like a phone ring, and it was like a dong 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 dong, and it was like when you walk into your roommate having a hookup for, like, I don't know, something stupid. My roommate then would start bringing girls over, and he wouldn't tell me, or if he did tell me, it would always be along the lines of, in text, verbatim, I'm bringing someone over, get the fuck out. No, hey, can I use the dorm? No,
Oh.
Hey, Spencer, can you be out? And it would be at the weirdest hours too. It would be like a Monday night, okay, or it'd be like a Tuesday afternoon at 4 p.m. when I was getting back from the gym and needed to shower.
Yeah.
It would be weird times. It would be during weeknights, late. It'd be like 2 a.m. on a Wednesday, and I'd be in bed sleeping. Spencer, I'm bringing a girl over. Get the fuck out. And I was always kind of like, no.
Yeah.
And then my older mate was an only child. So he would be like, I don't give a fuck. Get the fuck out. He'd be like, I don't care what the fuck you say. Get the fuck out. You know what I mean? Shit like that. It was just off the walls, like really, really brutal texts. And then he started kind of harassing me over my own personal, like, dating life, because I didn't bring anyone to the dorm because I didn't feel comfortable.
Yeah.
He would be like, no one wants to date you. No one wants to have sex with you. You're a loser. You're a virgin loser.
Oh,
And like, he would just say crazy shit like that.
it's so degrading.
Yeah, but it's just like, we weren't tight. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, this would come out of the blue, out of nowhere, out of completely left field, just because he was upset that I didn't let him bring over someone to have sex with at 2 a.m.
Mhm.
on a finals night. Finals. This happened. Finals. This happened constantly,
Yeah.
every week for months, and then it got progressively worse. I think when it really kind of took a shift for the worst was when he started like just throwing my shit out the room. Like when I come home at like 2 a.m. on a Wednesday, and he'd be like, and he wouldn't tell me, and he would just throw my shit on the floor and be like, get the fuck out. And he would have these raging fits, and he would just scream at me and blah blah blah. He would just freak out. And I have all of this in text. I have so much stuff. It's ridiculous. And the reason why I was hesitant to talk about it was because I just didn't want to put myself in a situation where, I have to like, take this any higher than it has to be.
Right.
It was really messy, and I didn't feel safe. And then the final straw, and I'm going to tell this story because I just feel like I have to now, was like beginning of April, I go to get dinner with my mom and my grandma for her birthday, and I left my water bottle on my bed. When I come back, I was really thirsty. I was taking, I was a busy bitch. I had to take the train to Connecticut, take it back.
Right.
I was lugging presents, the whole thing. I get back, and my water bottle was where I left it. I drank,
God.
thirsty. While I was gone, they thought it'd be humorous to fill the whole thing up with like melatonin. And I don't know how much. Still to this day. They took my own bottle of melatonin, 12 milligrams per pill, and poured it in there. And they said they didn't put very much in there. But all I can tell you is that I got really sick and had like vertigo and was nauseous. I didn't know why. And I had no clue they did that. So I drank more of my water, which was literally full of melatonin. And I took Advil, Dramamine. I was trying to figure out like what to do. That to me was the last straw. And then I was done. My friend and I met up, we hung out for a bit. And then I come back to my dorm like 2 a.m. with my friend. And we have another friend because I didn't want to go alone. At this point, it's April. I didn't like going alone because I didn't feel comfortable going alone late at night because he would be drunk and just be mean and very verbal. And I just didn't want to do it. I didn't like it. So I walk in there. He comes charging out of the bathroom, butt naked. Everything is out. We're talking full birthday suit. And my friend was right there, and my other friend, and they both like, and then I was kind of just like, what the, was like, what the fuck are you doing? And he
Yeah.
was, get out. No, I need the room. I want to use the room. I need the room now. He was belligerent and he was pissed because he wanted to use the room to hook up at 3 a.m. when I came back to go to bed. And he was yelling at all three of us in my face. Both my friends turned around and ran away. And I was kind of just standing there and I was like, what the fuck? I was like, go to bed. I literally snapped and I was like, go to bed. I didn't care. And I was like, you know what? I don't give a fuck. Go to bed. I'm tired. I'm going to bed. I walk into my room. I literally get ready to go to bed. And then he comes in and he's like kind of drunk. And he says to me, it's funny, me and our other suite mate, like, so I thought it'd be funny to like fill your water bottle with melatonin. And he like confessed it. And he was laughing about it the entire time as if it was funny. The girl he's hooking up with was right next to him, and she didn't care. She was indifferent. And I'm just kind of sitting there, and that was my last straw. That was when I was done, when I said, you know what, fuck it. I can't do this anymore because I got sick. And look, this wasn't the first time he's touched my shit. I mean, he threw out my hairbrush because he said it was too gay. He said my hairbrush was too gay. Real men don't brush their hair. Have you heard that one before?
I have not, but I think it's horrifying that you have.
Real men, they don't brush their hair. So, do you brush your hair?
Every day. I have 3 hairbrushes.
Well, you're not a real man. So, sorry. Tough
I
luck.
guess not, according to him.
That's the culture. And also, a little cherry on top is our Snapchat group chat name for the 4 of us was called 3.5 Men.
Oh, that's so backhanded. That's so horrible.
You want to know why it's called 3.5 Men? Let's just fill in the blanks for people that aren't,
Yeah.
Because I'm a half man. Because what? I like men. I try to go with the flow. I try if they would make a gay joke here and there, I would kind of just let it slide, whatever. But the constant gay jokes, the constant being called the F slur, the constant 3.5 Men bullshit, all of it just adds up and it piles. And eventually I just couldn't do it anymore. And I would fight it a lot of the time. And I just got tired of fighting that battle. I shouldn't be put in that environment. No one should. So I just was done. And I was pretty much at the place of, all right, screw you. And that morning I woke up at like 7 a.m., called my mom. I was like, Mom, what do I do? My mom freaked. Shout out my mom. She's my bestie. My parents were like, you gotta get out of there. So then I pretty much was like, told the school, I was like, I need a new dorm now. And they said to me, oh, well, the chances of a single are like less than 3%. And I said, I had a whole Karen meltdown. And I said, listen, I don't give a fuck. I was like, I want a room to myself. I don't want to share a bedroom with another person. I have 1 more month in this building. Give me any space.
Yeah.
Anything. And they found me another dorm, same building, a single, and I moved that weekend. And my old roommate was so scared because he knew that I was pissed and he saw me typing that email in the morning that he was like, kept calling me. He called me maybe 50, 60 times trying to apologize and was like, oh, it's just a joke. It's just a prank. And I was just like, didn't even give him any time of day. Because at that point, I don't owe you anything. You know what you did.
Absolutely not.
He has no remorse for what he did. He doesn't care. What he's upset about is that he got caught for putting me through hell for like 8 months. I moved dorms. Great new room. Those roommates were great. We're still tight. They were really cool. I really like them. They're awesome. We would just like, talk about stupid shit and watch stupid shit like Scooby-Doo Camp Scare or whatever.
Yeah.
And it was healthy. And I didn't feel like they didn't give a fuck. They didn't care. Like they just were chill and they were just nice.
Yeah.
And it was such a breath of fresh air after coming out of a dorm where my water bottle was filled with melatonin. Every time a door was open and closed, it was only being slammed. Our group chat name was 3.5 Men. I was called the F-slur repeatedly. You get the vibes. And also, like, just to give you a sense of the culture, like, when you would walk into our dorm, we had a massive tapestry, a Wolf of Wall Street tapestry. Massive. Just to kind of give you the culture of the dorm.
Yeah. Like very much finance, bro.
Very much. Men are the best. Men are cool. Fuck women. Like, that's the vibe that they gave off. And they just loved money and they thought they were hot shit.
So were there any implications for him at all or not really? Like you moved dorms, you made peace with it, like you're moving on?
Well, to be honest with you, I don't like when I told the school and I went through the whole process, it was kind of like I was confident that something would come of it. Nothing did. So
Yeah.
the school didn't really do anything. They didn't do anything, which I'm still really upset about. And I feel like I really got let down about that. And I do know for a fact that when my old roommate and my old suite mate got literally no sort of like consequence for everything, including the melatonin thing,
Yeah.
with all the screenshots and the stuff that I had as evidence, they like literally celebrated. They like they had like a whole like celebration thing for it. They were so ecstatic. And I mean, they should be ecstatic. They got completely off scot-free for some really fucked shit.
Yeah.
So it makes me really upset that nothing came of it and that nothing happened. But there's nothing I can do.
Yeah.
I feel powerless in that sense. But I've had the opportunity to talk about this online. I could have talked about it online. I could have talked about this months ago and turned it into a huge online ordeal. I didn't want this to blow up. I'm not a vengeful person. I don't need them to be facing consequences. All I want is for them to acknowledge I fucked up. I
Yeah.
was being an asshole. I'm sorry. And I'm apologizing not because I'm scared of getting in trouble, but I'm apologizing because I was really awful to you.
Yeah.
That's what I would want to hear. But the reality is, neither of them are sorry. Neither of them care. Neither of them have remorse. And that's just the way it is. And sometimes people can't apologize, and sometimes people can't give you what you want. You have to be okay with that.
Yeah. And
So,
honestly, it's kind of terrifying too when people
yeah.
do honestly terrible things and then they get away with it and then they think it's okay. And then, they might do it again to someone else or, like just make it on a bigger scale, like, oh, I got away with this. Like I literally drugged someone and didn't get in trouble. Like, what else can I get away with?
And literally, that right there is what I've been saying is that you give someone the chance to get away with something small that just keeps getting bigger. And it applies to so many things.
Yeah.
And it's bullshit. It makes me mad. I'm at a place of peace with a lot of the stuff that happened, not because I want to, but because it's in the past and I don't want to think about it anymore.
Right.
Dwelling on what happened with these roommates who put me through like a whole year of hell has been awful and definitely not what I wanted in a roommate. But I look at my life now and I look at where things have come in and where things have gone. And I don't want to hold a grudge and I just want to let things be. I don't forgive them. I don't owe them hate. I don't owe them anything. I
Yeah.
just completely indifferent to everything that happened. And that's why I want to keep it.
So I heavily stalked you on social media because I want to be very prepared.
Okay.
And I know that you are doing a double major in psychology and
Yeah.
journalism, right? So how did you pick that? Why did you want to go into that? And do you have any plans of what you're going to do with it?
I want to clear some things up because
Okay.
I owe you some clarity. We're friends. I owe you some clarity. The way my major works is it's a double, not by choice, but by command. To do
Okay.
journalism, you have to do another major. It's kind of like picking a concentration, but instead it's a major. So for
Okay.
me, I'm a writer. That's my shit. I really, really want to make a name for myself as a writer, be in the room, producer. I don't know what I want to do in my life. I
Yeah,
really don't. Do you know what you want to do in your life?
I did. I wanted to be a doctor my whole life. I was
Huh.
in IB chemistry, which is like
Yeah.
high level chemistry. Hated my life. Literally, I am like very studious in school, but I was not doing well in IB Chem. I got like a 60% on a test, and it was the end of the year, and my mark was like already like shit. I
You.
bawled so hard. I got in the car. I drove all the way into the city to get my favorite chocolate bar, went off the road because I was crying so much, got back on the road, got my chocolate bar, and cried all the way home. And then I was like, yeah, I don't want to be a doctor anymore. So
Well,
now I am going into commerce. So
It's very coming of age of you, honestly.
literally, it was
Only,
a
only had a
formative,
film TV crew to film the whole experience. You know what I mean?
right? I should totally recreate it one day.
Absolutely. So here's the sitch. Here's the sitch. Um, I love writing, right? Like as you want to be a doctor, but I don't want to be a journalist.
Yeah.
I don't. No, I wanted to be a creative writer. I still want to be a creative writer
Mhm.
in some whatever capacity, and I'm working on some stuff right now, which hopefully will be out eventually. It's just a very tedious process. Um, but there's no creative writing major offered, so I'm kind of in the navigation of like being stuck with journalism, which is fine. I want to be able to write anything. And I
Yeah.
think there's so many cool things in journalism. It's really good for public speaking. So I know I need to do that. And then psychology is more of kind of like the study of people, right?
Yeah.
And I just think it's cool. It's just more of a hobby thing. If I have to do a double major, fine, I'll pick something that I'm interested in, which is psychology.
Yeah.
And if I have the time, then I would do the creative writing minor. That's the goal. Try to cover those three bases, but that's a lot. When I applied to NYU, I applied undecided. So when I got in, they put me in liberal studies, which is like a subsect of like the College of Arts and Sciences. I have another year until I declare my major, but I'm taking all my prereqs like this year.
New York is not exactly distraction free.
No,
There's a lot going on at all times. What has been your favorite memories so far just in New York? It can be literally anything.
I think some of my favorite moments I've had are honestly the smallest moments. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Um, Going to the park with my friends and just sitting out and just reading. Like my friend and I, we just sit in the park and we would just read all day and just like tan and just relax. I love those moments. I would love doing like our group family dinners. Like every night we would hang out and do dinner with each other. So you didn't really ever eat alone.
Mhm.
I loved those. One of my favorite memories is Thanksgiving. Before we all went home for Thanksgiving, we had all of our friends come to my friend's dorm, and we just like all brought food and did like a whole like little like food things. We all brought our own thing. I bought fine cheese. It was really gross. I thought it was a cool fancy cheese. It was disgusting. It had like mold all over it. It was gross. And I brought
Like
crackers.
blue cheese?
Not like a gross cheese. It was like not normal. It was I love blue cheese. It was not that. Please tell me like do you like cheeses? Do you like cheese?
I like cheeses. I hate blue cheese. I cannot do blue cheese.
Maybe it's an age thing. I know I'm 19 and you're 17, but I'm telling you, blue cheese hits. It
I
took me
can't do it.
a while to get into it. No, just trust me. Just trust me.
I'll give it another shot.
Give it a shot. Give it a shot. Trust. Just trust. So I brought like fancy cheese, and then someone brought like a potato. Like not even for any reason, just brought a potato. So
Like a raw potato.
yeah, my friend Eric brought a potato. So then we all were together, all my friends and I, and we just played hot potato and ate food, and it was such an eclectic group because it was not just like my friends, but it was like all kind of like an extension.
Yeah.
It's like when we went around the room and all shared our favorite memory of the year thus far, all went around and we all said like what is our favorite thing about each other, or like our favorite or it was like our favorite memory with that person, and we all went around and did that. We were all so happy.
Yeah.
And it was the first time we were leaving each other too. It was like the third month in, so we were all together for 3 months straight, kind of, and then it was like the first time we were all going home, and it was just so much fun. I still think about that day. College can have a lot of lows, but the lows might be lower than your typical lows, but the highs are higher, and meaning that the memories you have are so unlike there. It's just you're gonna have a lot of experiences you haven't had before,
Yeah.
and you feel very seen. I'd say I don't think I've ever really felt seen before, or seen, understood, or really like I've had great friends, and I have a lot of friends from I have 3 friends from my childhood still, but this is the first time that I really felt like I belonged anywhere, which is a really nice feeling to have. Let me ask you that though, like do you think you found like that feeling yet, or are you still searching that?
Honestly, I feel like I'd know it if I have felt it before, and I don't feel like I'm there yet. I love all of my friends. I, love my family. They're so supportive. Everyone's amazing. Um, but the city where I'm in, like I also went to like a all boys Catholic school. I left grade 10. I don't feel like I have found where I belong yet. I feel like hopefully, going to Victoria, which is like super close to Vancouver, and it's,
Mhm.
on an island. I've visited there over spring break. And, when I was there, I feel like I felt that. Like I actually felt so happy. I can't even explain it. It was probably like when you went to New York, like just the
Yeah.
almost infatuation with the city and the environment, the people and the sights, and it's just new. So I definitely think that I believe I will feel that hopefully next year.
You will definitely feel it, and you'll
Yeah.
know it too. It's just the change of scenery, the change of pace, the meeting of the new people,
Yeah.
finally feeling like you're on your own path. Like you're picking this path. You know what I mean? That choosing your own path and going down it, that kind of contributes to the whole feeling of like I have found something that I'm really proud of.
Yeah.
And like if I talk to you like a day ago, or not a day ago, if I talk to you like in a month, I'll be like, oh, this is not, I haven't found my people, I
Yeah.
haven't seen. But I can say confidently right now in this moment, I feel so seen and loved by the people in my life. And I just feel really in a good place. Despite all the craziness of the bad roommates and the highs and lows of college, the highs and lows of high school football. I feel really happy with how my first year went because I couldn't have asked for a better experience overall,
Yeah.
minus a few points for the roommate situation. So yeah,
So that was like obviously you experienced homophobia very
yes,
clearly, blatantly. And, you went to a Catholic school. Was it all boys or
that
co-ed?
was unisex. I mean, I'm gonna be honest with you though. Catholic school is weird because I've never been to a gayer place in my life. I
Right?
know people don't like the word fruitcakes, but it was a little fruity. The air is just
Yeah.
a little aroma of some like, some just fruit. When I went to the Catholic school, I was a junior in high school. I was transferring out of my old high school because
Okay.
it was bad. That was preface. I'll preface. I went to the same school from when I was 4 years old to 15. I was with
Okay.
the same kids my entire life. And I had never understood myself. I never really knew who I wanted to be, but I was always so sure that I wanted to leave my town and just do something, anything. And I grew up, and I would say that I was a relatively larger kid growing up.
Yeah.
All these kids, they were also like cool and like sportsy and athletic. And then I just didn't care. I just didn't want to be, involved in any of that. Like, so I kind of grew up and I kind of got put in this hole of like being bullied for not just being considered overweight by my peers, which
Mm-hmm.
the real universal gay experience, so it seems.
Yep.
Um, but not just being like kind of criticized for my weight, which is fun. Ate a lot of skinny pop in my childhood because of that one. I hate skinny pop. I really do. Just because of that. I grew up kind of being kind of called out for my weight a lot. And then as I got older and I kind of didn't really know who I was, and I didn't really have that many friends growing up, I got that turned into you're not just fat, but you're gay.
Mm-hmm.
Gay. And I was like, I didn't understand my sexuality.
Yeah.
I didn't truly know I liked men until I was 16.
Really?
No. Like I kissed a girl and I was like,
That's not it.
something's not working. Like you can fill in the blanks. I was like, something's not working right now. Something's not working here, and things, you know what I mean.
I know
So
what you mean.
I was like, fuck. And I was like, all right. I was like, this isn't gonna work. And then that was the summer I went to the Catholic school. So that was my sophomore year going into my junior year of high school. And then
Mm-hmm.
junior year, I was kind of like, all right, figuring out my sexuality, gets outed. That's fun. Don't recommend. Back to like my childhood, it was like people were making fun of me for my sexuality and stuff. And I didn't understand who I was or what my sexuality was. And I think a lot of people struggle with that.
Yeah.
And it's so much harder to want to even make a statement about your sexuality and confess who you are when people have been putting you in that box for so long. You want to prove them wrong at that point. Be like, no, I'm not gay,
Yeah.
because then you're
You haven't even accepted it yourself.
yeah.
Yeah.
That's where I was for a really long time. So by the time I finished my freshman year, the high school was combined with another town. I didn't feel like people knew who I was. I felt like I was a villain because I was like kind of like, seen as this annoying, like gay kid who can't even say he's gay, and was like people call me, I was not in my element at all back then.
Mhm.
Sophomore year was weird. I don't tell people this, but sophomore year I did online school for a year,
Okay.
which is before COVID, so it was like really weird.
Was because people were like really mean to you?
Not necessarily. It was because I transferred out of my school so last minute that finding another school was kind of hard, and also
Mhm.
because I kind of just wanted to do my own thing and just do as much work. I wanted to write. What happened is, this is so fucking embarrassing, but my mom works for a like hospice care company. What happened is they put a cubicle at her company's office for me. So I would do like volunteer stuff, and I would like do that. And then I would sit at my cubicle like I was working a 9 to 5. And
Aw.
yeah. I would sit from 9 a.m. to 5 p.m. every damn day, just going at my computer, just doing all my schoolwork.
Yeah.
'Cause it wasn't like you go to school, then homework. The whole thing was fucking homework. I taught myself all of it. And it's not homeschool, because like homeschool and online school are different things. My online school kids get it. Like it's a little more like you're more with it than the homeschool kids, I
Yeah.
think.
Like
Um,
homeschool, it's kind of like the curriculum can be a lot more flexible,
yeah,
whereas online school, it's still just as
yeah.
structured. It's just not in person.
And people didn't get that. Like I got like a lot of people were kind of like, "Oh, are you being homeschooled?
Yeah.
Ew, gross."
Like, are
Like,
you dumb or something? Like,
I'm
why are you not
like,
in school?
are you okay? Like,
Yeah.
oh, I don't fucking know what I'm doing. Like, get off like hop off. Like, so online school was hard as balls because all of it was laid out for me. Like I had to write an essay a day, do all this stuff, teach myself everything. And then it would be graded by my teachers. And then I would Zoom with them before Zoom was a thing and talk about it and like go through everything.
Hmm.
That was really hard, but it gave me the chance to write a lot, and it gave me the chance to do APs, which my old school wouldn't let me do. And it gave me the chance to take more classes than I would have taken. Like I got to do creative writing classes, like kind of on my own free time.
Hmm.
And it was the hardest year of school of my life. This was harder than NYU. It was harder than high school. It was harder than my old high school. It was the hardest experience I've ever had. There
Really?
was, there was no one there. It was just me, my little cubicle, my computer with my teachers across the ocean or whatever. And I taught myself everything by the book. And I'm really proud to say that because I don't think I'd be anywhere in my life without it. Like it changed. It really
Yeah.
made me work hard for what you know what I mean? Because if I didn't want to do the
It gave
work,
you like self-motivation.
yeah, if I didn't want to do the work, no one was there to push me.
Hmm.
No one was there to be like, hey, you got this. Like it was just me. And that's lonely, but it was such a good experience. And then it
Yeah.
just prepared me for everything. And then that summer was my sexual awakening. Pretty much junior year is my sexual awakening,
Hmm.
outed, Catholic school, junior year, COVID hits, TikTok starts, senior year was all online. And then I go back for like the final month, and
Right.
it was fine. I have good friends at my Catholic school. Like, yes, the religion homophobic bullshit was ridiculous.
Hmm.
And let me say, I faced a lot of issues with the homophobia, but I will say that it gave me an amazing friend group, and it gave me an amazing community of kids
Yeah.
that I talk to this day. I'm not angry at the Catholic school. I'm like more so indifferent. It was very bittersweet.
Yeah, like it's like at the time it was horrible, and but at the
Yeah.
same time you came out of it stronger, as like corny as that sounds.
Yes. That's 100% what it is. And I'm so happy I went there because I would have not met the friends that I've met. And I had two of the best teachers of my entire life. And they changed my life. My English teacher, shocker, the gay kid likes the English teacher. She changed my life. And my Spanish teacher changed my life too. And they wrote my recommendations, and they have been people that I will always be thankful for because they were just so incredible.
Now, on your TikTok, you mentioned like how, it's kind of hard for you to watch Heartstopper, Young Royals. You were not okay after watching Young Royals.
You did your research.
Yes,
Wow.
I'm very well prepared.
I'm
Why do you
really
feel like
impressed.
it's so hard to like almost recuperate after watching, a gay romance?
All right. The thing with gay romances and TV shows is my opinion on a lot of this stuff has changed. When I was younger, when I had gay as my platform, like
Mhm.
I called myself gay on the internet. Kind of was younger. For a long time, I kind of carried this like notion of come out, be yourself, make a statement about your sexuality. And now I'm in a place of you don't owe anyone a statement.
Mm-hmm.
It's not a box. It's just a gray spectrum. Do whatever the fuck you want. Be whoever you want to be. You don't have to label yourself. You can if you want to. You don't even have to come out. You can just be and exist.
Yeah.
Like I did a whole coming out post. Partly because I was outed, but I did a post.
Right.
I'm not Love Simon.
You were addressing them.
This isn't Love Simon. I was addressing the people.
Yes.
Which is I cringe, but I don't regret it. It taught me a lot. But also, we don't if people that are heterosexual, they don't have to make a statement about their sexuality. So why should we? And I don't like the way that movies, especially TV shows, really put gay people in this box as being different from everyone else when we're all just people.
Yeah.
And I'll elaborate on that. My problem, the thing that I struggle with most when it comes to just, queer TV shows or film, we are told to make a statement about our sexualities and to really just amp that statement up and be put into this label. What if you don't know who you are? You don't have to label yourself. You don't have to make a statement about coming out. You could just exist and just date people. Like, I wish in my life that I was raised and then I could have just one day brought a guy home and been like, oh, here's my girl. And then it was treated like my twin sister would be like treated when she would bring a guy home. That's what I would have wanted growing up. And my parents are super accepting and amazing and have always been so supportive. But that's not the society we live in. Like that's not how people treat sexuality.
There's a default.
Yeah. And I want to treat sexuality more as a spectrum rather than something where it's like a label or a marketing campaign or a ploy. And the reason I say that is because Love Simon, which I have always kind of strongly never particularly liked, does this thing in the end of the movie where they have the two boys go up in the Ferris wheel because the jock shows up and he's like, hey, I'm into you. I'm the secret admirer. Surprise.
Yeah.
They go up in the Ferris wheel. Then everyone fucking claps.
And like gather around.
And they gather around. They're like, oh my God, look, it's gay people.
Like Shut a up. Zoo.
Shut up. Yeah, it's like a zoo. That's exactly what I think about it as. Like, it's like, who cares? Who cares? Like, if it was a guy and a girl, no one would give a fuck.
Absolutely not.
Two guys. And then they all freak out. They're like, oh my God, it's a gay in the wild. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And that's why I have an issue when it comes to queer movies and TV shows, is because I feel like so many times they're trying just to create an archetype, a stereotype, rather than an individual. Heartstopper, I enjoyed more because they didn't really lean into that tropey type thing. Yes, cliche, completely. Was it like super like corny and a little bit, but it was cute. It was cute. They didn't play into the whole like homophobia and like all the crazy shit with like oh my God, two gay people. Like they just were like these two teenagers and they're happy and they're like in love. I struggle with these films, not because they can be tropey and they can be leading on with bad stereotypes and just kind of like putting people in boxes, but also because I struggle because I didn't have that experience. I didn't grow up and I didn't have my first kiss till I was 17 after watching the movie Cats, which was my first kiss was with a girl, but my first kiss with the guy was 17, with a girl 16. But I was 17, it was in the parking lot, and the kid wanted to hook up with me and didn't want to even date me. And he took me to see the movie Cats, which was a real red flag. But
100%. You should have run.
I ran for the hills. When you live in a small town and a guy, it's like relatively cute, asks you out or asks to hang out.
It's exciting.
You jump at the opportunity. So I jumped at the opportunity, and then he took me to see Cats.
So last summer, you were in Portugal?
I was in Portugal, yeah.
Okay, so you posted a photo, I believe.
You did your research. Fuck, okay.
Thing you love about this post, one of them was that, you were showing your body on social media, which you don't usually do.
No, I do not.
Have you like struggled with body image? Like, what's that been like for you?
Yeah, I have. Ever since I was like 8 years old, being fed skinny pop because I felt like I was being called, chubby or whatever. I would like eat skinny pop as a way to be skinny. I thought it would work. I thought
Did you
skinny
find
poppers.
like in school it was bad, like in gym class, especially?
Middle school gym class may have been traumatic for me. Middle school gym class was awful, awful because we had to like harness each other and like do like the rock climbing wall and stuff because it's one of those schools. And like the kids would
Okay.
be, oh, I don't want to harness him, and I'd be like belay him, like get like
Ah,
it's you being up on the wall, and then it's another person like
right.
pulling.
But like gym class was actually traumatizing. And, you know, I think being in middle school, like that's kind of when people start to notice, like, oh, I don't look like every other kid,
Yeah,
especially if you are overweight. And your parents are never gonna tell you.
like there was a point like once where like my dad and my sister like made a joke, and then I like was really mad at them when I was like
Oh,
10.
do you
Yeah,
remember what the
I'm a
joke was?
twin. Yeah, my sister said I had a beer belly to my dad, and they like laughed about it.
Oh,
I didn't say anything, but my dad laughed, and I was pissed. But I was like 10. The thing with body image is I always struggled with it growing up. Only now, for the past couple months, have I felt more confident. And I'd say that's a product of me kind of figuring out more so who I am, but
mhm.
also I'm not trying to impress people as much as I used to, especially with social media. I felt so confined by the need to impress other people.
Yeah.
Now it's kind of just try to do more of what makes me happy. And that's such a cliche thing to say. Is like it's such an easy thing to say to people, oh, just don't care what other people think. Just don't
Mhm.
brush it off. That's easier said than done. Because yeah, I can say that to you right now. I don't care what other people think. But I obviously do.
Yeah,
I mean, you probably do. It's like we all do. We can't help it.
absolutely.
It's innate. What I would say is, do you let that thought consume you, and do you let it get to you? And the answer is I've been trying not to let it get to me.
Yeah.
Been a lot better in the past couple months because I'm more confident in myself. I've been hitting the gym just for myself. I don't really care what my end goal is because I don't really have one.
Exactly.
Um, I'm just more confident. But I will say going to the gym a lot more and been putting a lot of energy into myself and just trying just to not care what other people think in the sense that I know the thought is there, but not letting it impact me.
Yeah.
What I noticed is that at the gym I go to, there's a lot of gay men. It's a real shit show in the way they treat each other because
Really?
it's a vanity show. They all want to be just like in the best shape possible. And it's just like not it's weird. It's a weird culture in New York, especially when it comes to like fitness and dating because there's such a high standard.
Yeah.
And it's like people are super picky and they're super judgmental about your body. My point being is that if someone is judgmental about your body, it's not good enough to their standards. It's bullshit. Or they're just really hard on themselves about their body. If another person won't be with you or won't like you because of the way your body looks, then they're not right for you.
Yeah. Why would you want to be with someone like that?
Why would you want to be with someone who's going to not like the way you look? I'm always going to be cognizant of my body and how I feel about it. But I feel a lot more proud of who I am now. I'm loving myself more. And I'd say just going forth into the future, I'm going to try to just keep doing that and not
Mhm.
let others deter me from how I feel about my body or deter the ways I look at myself.
Do you think that TikTok has helped you with your confidence, or do you think it's kind of torn it down, or?
What a question. What a question. TikTok has made body image harder, I think, for a lot of people because there's a lot of videos, and I'm not going to reference them, but there's a lot of videos of people being like, it's okay to have bad days with your weight and just know you're beautiful. And they'll be like, see, right now I'm super bloated and I'm so large. And then they show themselves and they're like the skinniest person you've ever seen in your life.
Yeah.
I saw some guy do this the other day. He like pinched at his fat that wasn't even there, shredded washboard abs. And he's like, it's okay to have a bad off day. Look at me now. And they think that they're like such warriors of like health.
Revolutionary. Yeah.
They're victorious in it. They're iconic because they're saying, hey, I ate 2 tacos instead of one, and I'm a little bloated, and I'm still absolutely shredded. But look at how big I am. When people show off their bodies and people are praised for their bodies as
Mhm.
such, is promoting a culture where we just prioritize someone's bodies over who they are and what they
Yeah.
do. Like all these thirst trap boys, to me, they're all one and the same because there's so many of them that I can't tell which one's which.
Just like
And
every other bitch.
yeah, like a bitch. And that's why it's such a saturated like field of like, everyone wants, all these people want to be like influencers or whatever. But I think looks can only get you so far.
Well, like, do you find like you read your comments a lot? Like, have you gotten negative comments that have gotten to you, or do you like kind of thrive off the good comments that hype you up?
I mean, everyone gets bogged down by a few certain comments. The first comment that ever bogged me down, I'll never forget it because it was my first hate comment ever. And someone was like, unoriginal, boring, bland, next about me. That
Oh,
drove me insane for the longest time. And now I look at that comment and I laugh because I think it's funny. It really used to get to me. And if I get a hate comment, it's like, whatever. I don't like it when people attack me for my character because I really prioritize who I am and I'm really proud of who I am. And I don't like it when people come for my character or come for my friends or my family. That shit to me, that doesn't fly. And that's the stuff that gets to me now more than the vanity comments.
right.
And when it comes to commenting, I really do appreciate comments because I love just connecting with people. That's why I do social media in the first place. That's why I make my silly little videos and I try to make something out of it one day. Because I just love the idea of connecting with people
Yeah.
and doing something greater than yourself. There's nothing more fulfilling to me than when people would reach out to me and be like, hey, your videos help me with my sexuality and help me with understanding myself. Those DMs,
Are the best.
they were the most fulfilling thing I would have. Yeah, the best. They're most so fulfilling. And that's what I want to work for is just, I don't know, being there for other people and being some sense of support
Yeah.
over anything. The connecting with people is the greatest thing of social media and doing something to help other people. That's all I want to do in my life. You know what I mean? That's why I want to write. That's everything to me.
I have some listener questions. So this person said, I need gay book recommendations.
This is the book I'll give anyone as my suggestion. Ride or Die. I don't care. People already know it. It's really popular. I've talked about it a million times. Song of Achilles. I love this book with my whole heart. I want to get a tattoo of it, like on my shoulder blade. I don't care. I love this fucking book because the thing about this book that I really like is that it does that thing that I was telling you about. It does not emphasize sexuality as a struggle or conflict.
Yeah.
These two are in love and they just leave it at that. It's sad, it's beautiful, but they're just love. That's why I love it. This book, I am not going to recommend it yet, but as of right now, I'm reading it and I'm really enjoying it. It is called Swimming in the Dark. I found it at Strand the other day.
Oh, that's on my TBR too.
I haven't read the whole thing, but I've read like a part of it. And based on what I've read so far, I really like it. And the reason why I like it is because the narrative of it is really, really interesting.
So I have really bad anxiety and I'm also kind of lonely. How do I make friends when I'm too scared to talk to anyone?
If you don't ever make that effort to talk to people, then you're never going to have friends at all. You have to rip off the Band-Aid sometimes because if you don't take that chance, you'll never know what you're going to miss out on.
Yeah.
Sometimes in life, this is what I've learned recently because I've been like I've had a lot of like big milestones recently in terms of just like, finishing my first year of college and getting a job and stuff, blah, blah, blah. Working here, like being an RA and having a lot of great friends and just being in New York for the summer is a milestone.
Yeah.
Sometimes we miss out on the best experiences we could possibly have because of that stress and anxiety, because we're too nervous. And then we ask ourselves, what could have been if we let that thing happen? So I would say, if you see someone who looks approachable, someone who looks nice, just fuck it. Just talk to them. And also, if you want to talk to someone online for the sake of your own anxiety or whatever, just DM people. People are pretty resilient in DMs. Like people who reply to DMs, they answer.
Yeah.
DM people, don't be weird. Just don't hit them up in a flirtatious way, but or even like if you want to do like the soft launch instead of the hard launch. Hard launch is DM. Soft launch is like you start with the comments and you if you want to weasel your way in that way with making friends. There's a whole process to it, but it doesn't have to be anything niche or crazy. Just a simple, hey, how's it going? sometimes I just lead with how's it going, just to like right off the gate.
Yeah.
Or if like, I could find if I see something they post and I could find the connection about what it is, then I'll lead with that. Like for example, there was this person I knew for college that like posted about Grimace, the McDonald's mascot, and I
Okay.
love Grimace. Like I have like a Grimace like little thing in my room, it's right over there.
Wait, what is Grimace? I've never heard of this.
Where? Oh, it's right here. This is my puppet. Actually, someone from TikTok got this for me. Shout out Sergio. So this is Grimace. This is McDonald's like puppet, but Grimace is like this figurine head that was like 90s McDonald's core, and it was like it's a taste bud and it's purple. I love it. I think it's the funniest thing ever. I had a huge Grimace phase last year, but with Grimace, like this girl posted like a poster of Grimace, like a vintage poster, and
Yeah.
I texted her and I was like, fellow Grimace fan here, like
Yeah.
find common ground and just run with it.
I've met so many of my friends online, and even like relationship wise, you can't be scared of rejection. And that's so much easier said than done. But at the same time, it's so much easier to get rejected online than it is like in person. You know what I mean? And like if someone just rejects you
Yeah.
online, like you can move on, be sad about it for like an hour, and then like delete the
Yeah,
message.
it saves you the trouble of, I'd say, getting hurt in person.
Yeah.
Online virtual breakups, surprisingly, are a lot easier
Yeah.
than in person. Trust me, the online stuff
Yeah.
over a week.
Have you been broken up with in person?
Never been in a relationship, but have I had like my heart broken? Yeah. Not broken. I would say
Hurt, bruised.
bruised. I've
Yeah.
had my heart really bruised. And that's a lot harder in person because it's like you're with that person, and then it's like that experience of being with someone, it can be a lot more powerful, I'd say, than online.
Yeah.
I'm not discrediting online, like completely online back and forth banter, but if you talk to someone for a week online, just on Snapchat, and then they ghost you, that's their loss. That's not yours. You know what I mean?
Exactly.
They're not worth your time. That's what I'm saying. I'm not referring to like long distance relationships where people are online. I'm talking about like really just like simple, like you meet someone online, you talk for a week online, and that's it.
Amazing. Well, thank you so much for joining today. I think you had such amazing insight into the world of the LGBTQIA plus community and, everything college. And thank you for being so open about sharing your experiences.
Uh, I appreciate you so much for having me. Thank you.
Yeah.
You killed it with these questions. I'm very, very, very appreciative. My socials are Spencer Thomas on TikTok with 2 R's. It once was okay. Okay.
No longer.
No longer here. She's dead and gone and buried.
Yes.
Squiddy is my Instagram, SSQUITI. And you can find me on Twitter under my same TikTok username. And thank you guys so much. And thank you for having me.
Of course.
Oh my god, that was a lot. I had so much fun filming this week's episode. Spencer was so nice. He was so fun to talk to, such a great talker. If you want to see more of him, I think you already said it, but go follow him on Instagram at @squiddy, that's SSQUITI, and then you can follow him on TikTok at Spencer Thomas, previously Gay, but he has rebranded. If you love me, rate the podcast on Spotify, okay? That is the biggest thing. Go rate it 5 stars. It's not going to take that much time. And if you do it, I'll love you forever. Go on Apple Podcasts, rate it on there too. Because why wouldn't you? It's going to take 5 seconds. Like the video, I guess. Subscribe if you feel like it. If not, that's okay too. You can also find me on Instagram at diaries of homosexual or Krishay Sigurdsson, and on TikTok at diaries of homosexual. I love you. Thank you for joining our community. Thank you for watching. Yeah, bye homos.